Hello, this is Sea Silk, and I am here with,
Nathan.
and we're here to talk to you about the future of the Elder Scrolls. We're gonna see what could be possible in Elder Scrolls 6 and what we want. So what we're gonna talk about is locations, improvements, skills and perks, storyline, items and inventory, and immersion. So yeah, let's get right into location is the first thing. So we're going to talk about the locations and things that this new Elder Scrolls game could take place. So here we have a map of the ones with past Elder Scrolls games. They even have like the Elder Scrolls Travels. And yeah, Shadow Key. So anyways, let's kick it up. So what location do you think they should, are we going to talk about first? What do you think they should do?
What'd you say? Sorry, it just cut out there.
What do you want them to do? Bethesda, what's your favorite location you want them to do?
My favorite location that I haven't done is the Black Marsh, just because we don't know anything about it. And it seems interesting, like Argonians. Like, what do we really know about them?
Well, that's a good one, because there's a lot of things with Black Marsh that we do know, but there's also a lot that we don't know, and it's very mystic.
Yeah, but the problem is, if they do Black Marsh, like, where's the secrecy in it?
Yeah, it'll take a lot of mystery from the...
And it probably...
But I think it would be interesting for people to, like, play with, like, the Hist could be a part of it, like...
Yeah, honestly, I just really want the Shadow Scale to be in one of the games.
Shadow
have a bit of a Shadow Scale one. God damn it.
Unless you read the... Like, you don't really know that much about Black Marsh unless you read the Elder Scrolls novels they made. Because they take for most of the time they take place in Black Marsh. But they're not as many people read those, and they don't give away that much about Black Marsh. Like, they give a little bit about the culture, like a little bit, like they're talked about these like cities that were like underwater.
Yeah.
And that only, like, parts of cities that only Argonians can get to.
Yeah.
So I think that would be pretty neat. Like, they can have those cool underground cities, like, as you get closer to the middle, that's more heavy wooded. That'd be the more Argonian-focused areas. You can have these, like, underwater cities or towns. Like a small settlement can be underwater. And there'll be a lot more things to do underwater, because Argonians can breathe underwater. So I think that they could have it so, like, there's water breathing enchantments a lot more, because people that are non-Argonians living in Black Marsh, they would need those enchantments more common than, say, a person in Skyrim, because, like, to find something water breathing in Skyrim was a lot harder than to find something that was, like, frost enchanted or not.
Yeah. And it'd actually make it useful for once, because I never found it that useful.
Yeah, well, there's a couple locations in Skyrim. They started putting it that there was like a bunch of underwater locations, but there wasn't really that many. And I think
it's worth it.
Yeah, I think if they did it in Black Marsh, like if they did Black Marsh, then they would have a lot more things they could do underwater.
Are we doing mechanics in this video or no?
Well, improvements. So yeah.
Okay, I'll just remind me later to talk about water breathing. So I have an idea for it.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, Black Marsh is a good option. There's a lot of things they could do there. Yeah, like you said, the Shadow Scales, like the Dark Brotherhood, could be a big part of the Black Marsh culture. And like I said, the Hiss can play a role, and it may be the Thalmor are like, maybe this could be like a story for that. Like the Thalmor are trying to push their territory into Black Marsh. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but why?
Because Black Marsh is on the border with elsewhere. So, you know, like, expand the Aldemary Dominion. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a storyline that would include Black Marsh.
We'll leave that to the people who actually know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, we'll leave that to Bethesda. Or we'll talk about this in, like, what stories could happen.
We'll get to this later.
So, anyways, so yeah, Black Marsh is definitely a thing. We'll expand on each location later, maybe future episodes. We might make this into a series. So yeah, I think we talked a lot about Black Marsh for now. What do you think about Hammerfell?
Hammerfell?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know that much. All I know is about the Red Guards. But I mean, like, if it's kind of Dragonborn took place in Hammerfell, right?
Pardon?
Dragonfall, whatever.
You mean the Great War?
Dragonborn, the DLC for Skyrim, it took place in
Solstein.
Solstheim. Oh,
It's off the coast of Morrowind.
my bad. I want to figure it out to do this. I can't do this.
Anyways, so Hammerfell, like, because you know that the Hammerfell was a big thing in the Great War. When the Empire decided to sign the White Gold Covenant, the Hammerfell stayed fighting, and they held off the Thalmor by themselves for a long time, and they eventually got some freedoms, and they were allowed to be their own area. So I think that this could play into a Thalmor thing, because I think the next games is gonna have something to do with the Thalmor.
Guaranteed, because
They made it such a big thing with them coming back, and they were like an enemy in Skyrim. So yeah, and there's little plots that we'll talk about later in the story part of this that they might do the Thalmor.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hammerfell, if you played Elder Scrolls Online or even Daggerfall, they did it. Yes, they did the Daggerfall area, but that's not really that much. They did a little bit of High Rock and a little bit of Hammerfell, but the sheer size of Hammerfell, yeah, that's not going to be that's going to only be a fraction. And I find it's kind of cool to revisit old locations that you played in past games. Like Daggerfall is so old that I bet you a lot of people don't even play it. Most people, if they talk about Elder Scrolls titles, they're talking about Morrowind and up.
Honestly, I have never played Daggerfall.
Yeah, I have, but
I mean, you love Elder Scrolls.
So anyways, as I was saying, I find that it's such a beautiful place. It has so much sceneries. They have has the deserty vibe, and then it also has jungles and a little bit of jungle, not that much, but you know what I mean. It's tropical, and it's pretty cool at some points.
Wait. Speaking of jungles, you know the Khajiits live in the Elsewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Elsewhere is another interesting place I like.
Yes.
Because Khajiits are the same deal with me as Argonians, as I don't know much about them. I assume they're Argonians. We don't know much about those guys either. Or am I completely wrong?
Well, we know a lot more about Khajiits than we know about Argonians.
Yeah.
And you'll know a lot more if you played Elder Scrolls Online, because I know a lot of people don't really like it, but I like it.
I've never played Elder Scrolls Online, and I've really played.
They made Hammerfell area in Elder Scrolls Online look pretty awesome. Same with the Aldmeri Dominion area, all these areas. They made Kenneth's Roost is the first your starter island, and when you were with the Aldmeri Dominion, and it is a pretty beautiful place. Same with Stros Mackay that we got to go to in Redguard. But anyways, so yeah, Hammerfell. It's a pretty good location. It'll be a nice thing. You could have a story there, and you can also have maybe Ancient Sands, and maybe you will find out more about where the Redguards came from, because we know they came from I can't get the name on the top of my head, the island that sank that made them come Tamriel that they were originally on. Maybe there'll be more backstory behind that.
Yeah. So are we gonna switch now, or are we gonna?
Yeah, Hammerfell. You have the Akaviri, different provinces. So yeah, it'd be a pretty good location. So what?
Yeah.
What are we gonna talk about next? Let's Elsewhere. You brought out Elsewhere, so.
Elsewhere.
Well, Elsewhere, yeah, it's a good size, I guess. But I think if they're gonna do it, they're either gonna do Elsewhere and Valenwood together, or they can make Elsewhere look really big.
Yeah.
They can make it so Elsewhere looks size it out so it'll look on a map. It doesn't look that big compared to Skyrim.
Yeah.
But they can make it so it seems as big as Skyrim.
Yeah. Or
And with Elsewhere, you could the jungles. There could be like high things that you can like climb, and like cities and caves all out everywhere. And then you also have the deserty area of Elsewhere.
they could do something weird, like, bro.
And
Actually, no,
it could be like there's like maybe your character could be like the main or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Elsewhere is a pretty nice place, and I find it's very Khajiit are very popular in the Elder Scrolls series. So I think that would be that a lot of people like that, and it has they're part of the Aldemary Dominion.
Yeah. But the only problem I see, it's like it's like I don't know much about this, right? Again, but it could be kind of generic if they mess it up. Is the problem? Like, I could see it kind of being bad if it's like, oh, here's our jungle area, here's our desert area.
No, and like they could have the nice shift, like you had that nice shift in Skyrim from
Forest
to trees, like.
But if they mess it up, is the problem?
Well,
though.
I don't think they're gonna mess it up because I don't think they can, like, really. I think they're gonna go with the same kind of system as they went in.
Yeah, I know, but there's always a chance.
I guess, but I doubt that's gonna happen. Like, it would be pretty natural shift. Like, you would start seeing sand things everywhere, like a little bit of sand there in the trees. Maybe they could even improve. That could be part of their improvements on mechanics, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Alright, so
What are we going for now?
we did Elsewhere briefly. Like, we're doing all these. These aren't like all we're talking about these things.
Yeah, I only think
We're gonna be doing longer episodes with each one of these places.
Yeah.
So let's do Valenwood next, because it's right beside Elsewhere.
Valenwood, that's the Wood Elves, right?
Yes.
The cannonballs.
That would be pretty good, because you might have all your villages on the,
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be kind of like what they did in Elder Scrolls Online, because what they have in Elder Scrolls Online is that the Aldemary Dominion went into Valenwood, and they started building these, like, cities, like giant cities and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like bigger cities, and also there's also these colonies of wood elves all over, and they're like tree houses up in the trees and like huts and stuff. So they could have it like that. There could be like Aldemary wood elves and out in the jungle wood elves, and like with the green pack, like because the breaking of the green pack, there could be something there too.
Wait, was it the Green Pack that made them do that, or no? No, that's
it was the Green Pack that made them into like cannibalistic, like.
Yeah, it's where if they
because if they kill something, they can't chop down any trees either, and they must, like, if they kill something, they have to use every single part, and nothing can be used to waste.
Oh yeah, never mind. The meat would go to waste. I just had a really stupid idea.
So if they killed someone, they would have. So maybe they could have
eat the person.
And then the breaking of the green pack. But what you could happen is you could still have like settlements that are strictly still following the green pack. That like you can have, like, for instance, like this group of people, and then they could also be trying to shame the other wood elves for when they breaking the green pack, and like. These Aldemary cities that they also built, we could have like there could be a little tension there, like.
Yeah, that'd probably be good. That's probably good, but we should do that more later.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about more later within. So yeah, Valenwood, it'd be pretty cool area there. You could have like there would be a lot more different kinds of armors too. There could be like certain bone armor, because it's not like all the bones are gonna look the exact same. So they could have like I don't know, like a
That's the thing I found.
Like they could have like a alligator bone armor or something. Like have like scales and like a giant jaw on it as one of the shoulder plates, like the head of the.
They should make it though where it's like every single thing you could think of that could die there, like including the races you're playing as.
Yeah, like
I have one of their armor. Like,
well, they don't need to make it because the skeletons pretty much all look the same.
I don't mean like that, right? But I mean like things like alligators, like pandas.
Yeah, like they could have it so like the alligator like snout,
or like
the skull of the alligator is
like
your
helmet,
helmet,
and bone armor.
Yeah.
And
It's like decorating skills. I think they can get pretty creative with that.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with it.
Like they can have like a similar thing that they had in Skyrim, like with the iron helmet with the horns, but have it set so instead of iron, it's like replaced with like sheep bone or something. Like they made the skull and they like formed the bones and like
Yeah, but like that'd be more light armor, right?
yeah, light armor. And then they also like
But it shouldn't all just be about like that type of armor. Like
yeah, but they would also have the armor of all the other races from coming there.
yeah, but it shouldn't be just the wood elves who get the armor. Like every
Yeah, like
each
I never said it would be just the wood elves. Like
oh
it'd be like you can craft wood elf armor. You like that'd be a cool thing that they could add like different race armors. Like what it
Yeah.
is like you go into your smithing and you can unlock like they did it kind of like elven art like they've done it kind of like all the time like elven orcish, but had it for like Nordic and stuff like that. But have it so you have high elf armor.
they have Nordic.
I know, like that's what I said.
Oh.
Like wood elf armor, like elven armor, is like Thelmor armor. There's no like elven looking armors. Like there's no wood elf armor would be like these bones things. Like in Elder Scrolls Online, they have armor sets for each race. They can have all these different armor sets, like how they have like just iron armor and stuff like that, and steel armor. But if
Yeah.
they want, they can also add in a different couple races, like Redguard armor. That'd be pretty cool. And like they kind of had that, like they had the Akaviri robe, like Hammerfell robes and
I
stuff.
think we're starting to move away from the location ones, and we're starting to move more into mechanics. So do you want to just go to mechanics now?
No, we're still talking about locations. It has to do with the environment of Valenwood.
Oh, yeah, I guess, but
I'm just touching on different subjects there. We'll go into more of these subjects later. So
Yeah.
Valenwood, they would have lots of creatures. They could have lots of bone armor there. So what should we talk about? Somerset Isles, and then we'll go to. Or do you think we should do High Rock first?
High Rock. Sure, High Rock.
High Rock. Well, you got the Bredens, you got all the kings and stuff. Like High Rock be a pretty interesting place. They've done it before.
Yeah, they should. They've
done it before in Daggerfall, so I think maybe I don't know. Like they didn't do that much in Daggerfall either. Even though
Yeah, and for enemies, they're gonna be like more magic-based ones, which would be nice. 'Cause I found there wasn't a lot of like, it was a lot of melee guys right in the beginning, and some bow people, right?
well in Skyrim magic isn't really a big part of the culture.
Yeah, I know, but it was like there was no point to it.
There was point that magic wasn't really accepted that much in Skyrim.
No, generally,
Lords.
magic was completely neglected. He's like,
No, there's like pretty awesome spells.
but are they any good to a sword?
Yes, yes they are. But anyways, that's
But
later.
I went off track. Sorry.
So yeah, that's High Rock. You would have all the different kings. You can have like, oh no. See, they could do the same thing to the map. Like you know how I said that High Rock and like elsewhere in Valenwood, like they don't seem that big, but Daggerfall has one of the biggest maps out of all games in gaming, and it is like literally if you look at it, it's only a portion of High Rock and Hammerfell. So they can do a similar thing. Of course, they wouldn't make it as much because they would have to make it more fleshed out and stuff, but they could do the same like
Yeah.
sort of enlargement of the map. Because I think if they start doing, I know that everyone wants like 2 provinces and all these things at once. I think they're gonna start like there's only 9 provinces.
Yeah, that'd be like like
They're gonna run out eventually.
I program, right?
Well, they could always start doing Akaviri stuff. Like I don't want them. Like maybe there could be like a adventurer from Akaviri in his like in the next game, like whatever game. They could make like an adventurer from Akavir has came. Like there'd be like a boat, and it'd be like the Jarl wants you to talk to these men that have just came to shore. Like, well, not the Jarl, it'd be the king in High Rock, but like,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like, well, Akaviri is on the other side.
Eboed by the Akaviri.
Akaviri's on the other side. So say like if they did Blackmarsh, it could be like on the coast of Blackmarsh, and they could say like, these Akaviri ships have just these like this adventurers from Akavir has just arrived. The tribal leader or something wants you to talk to them. So then you would have to talk to them, and you would find a little bit about like Akavir, but not too much. Like I think that would be a little cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And so I think, is that everything?
No,
No, for the provinces. I mean,
no.
I thought
Well,
there's
High Rock. Well, High Rock we only covered like briefly. Like High
ah
Rock doesn't have that much difference in climate compared to Skyrim. Like it's still. They also do have that old building. I can't remember the name, but it's on the tip of my tongue. The one that's like was like a meeting place for the divine people or whatever, and it's like older than the rest, like the oldest structure on Tamriel. So that'd be a cool little thing to have in there.
yeah
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. Also, yeah, you could also have a lot more magic things because they are half elf
Yeah.
and half human, and they would also have warriors. So it'd be like not as diverse as Cyrodiil, but there
It'd
can
be-
also be a lot of tension between the orcs and the Bredens there. Same with
Yeah.
Hammerfell. There could be like on the
yeah.
northern area of Hammerfell, they can have like tensions between orc tribes because there's going to be a lot of tension from when they burn down Orsinium,
Yeah.
and maybe that's something they could have like the ruins or of Orsinium or something, or maybe it's like a side quest or something that or these like quest line. There's like orcs and they're trying to rebuild Orsinium or something like that.
Wait, never mind. That didn't work. I was thinking of the Forsworn, but I'm thinking of the wrong place.
The Forsworn are Bredens, but they're only in Skyrim.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's for High Rock. Now let's get to Somerset Isles. This is what I think is probably I think it's probably going to be this or Valenwood. Somerset Isles. There's a lot of clues like the Thalmor here, but there's also things like if you talk to I think in the next thing, I don't know if it's going to be the main story, probably not, because usually the main story in these games are like something threatens the world, but
Yeah. Generic.
something and you must rise
Yeah.
up and save. But what I find is something that can be like the Civil War they had in Skyrim, or something like a big quest line, or something like the Civil
Yeah.
War is a perfect example, because there's a lot of hints at the end of the Civil War and throughout the thing that say like forever when you're in the main story and you're going to that party, you talk to the one Thelmorgon, and he's like,
Yeah.
there's peace for now, but this peace won't last. There's another storm coming. I'm afraid the next storm is going to be bigger than the last. He's
Yeah.
referring to the Great War.
Yeah.
So he thinks that and then if you beat Ulfric, he says there's peace for now, but those elves up there, we're going to have a conversation. And if you're with Talius's side, if you like go on the Imperial side, he says there's peace. He says there's peace for now, but just between you and me, I'm not so sure about those elves. And then that's what he says. So they're all three factions pretty much in that
Yeah.
are pretty much saying they're ready to go to war. They think there's another war coming.
Yeah.
And there's also more people that hint that there's going to be another great war. So I think that's going to be kind of like a side thing. I don't see that being the main story unless they're like some Thalmor where like if maybe you could choose your side between the Thalmor and like the other guys, like the fact. I don't know. They're probably going to say that what happens. I don't. That's what I'm wondering. That'd be probably more for story. So we'll save my idea for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, with the factions, and it'd be pretty cool to get another point of view too.
Yeah.
We got the point of view from Skyrim, and so it'd be nice to get a point of view from the Thalmor side, the Aldmeri Dominion side, because the Thalmor is in the Aldmeri Dominion, but like it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But you get a pretty nice different side and a different attitude.
Yeah.
Well, especially from in Elder Scrolls Online, but I don't know how it would be here because it's like different. And also, you can have like elves from like different games in there.
Yeah.
because you know that elves like live like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they could have elves from different things. What do you think?
For what?
Somerset Isles. What do you think?
Somerset Isles?
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, but I'd still prefer Black Marsh or elsewhere.
I know you're hoping for that Black Marsh.
Oh my god. Fucking Black Marsh.
Black Marsh is a good location, but I just think that with the hints they laid, like
Yeah, it's not gonna be there.
it's probably going to be in a future game, but I just don't think it's going to be in the next.
It's not gonna be in Elder Scrolls 6. I know that. I'm just saying.
They could always make like an island off the coast of Black Marsh DLC. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd probably work.
Like what they did with Solstein. Solstein was actually pretty cool because you had Blood Moon and you got to see Solstein, and that's when it was under Skyrim rule, and then there's Solstein that's under Morrowind rule that you get to go when you're in Skyrim. And what about the rest of Morrowind? All we got to really explore was Vardenfell.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I agree. We should probably explore like each province, right? Fully.
Yeah, because like with Morrowind, all they did was the island of Vardenfell, and that's also another good point to what I was saying earlier with the sheer size. Like Vardenfell, if you look at it compared to Skyrim, it's only like the central part of Skyrim. Like it's probably like around the size like from like Falkreath up to the mountains above Dawnstar, and it doesn't have that many width. Like it's probably like the Whiterun hold and the Falkreath hold like put together with like maybe a little bit of like the Pale in there and the marsh. I forget what it's called, like High Marsh or something like that. High Marsh. That Morthal's in. So I think that's also another thing of how they made a small space look bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it for location. So
Ooh.
yeah.